indeed live. All right. Restream agrees. YouTube agrees. And Twitch also agrees. Yay, we have a quorum. Welcome to Code Hangout number 190. Where I'm going to look at what's happening in 2025 and also what has happened in 2024. And I forgot to refill my water. Great. All right, I'll have to do a water break in a little bit. So one of the things I've done badly last year is I haven't been very good with planning. I've made plenty of plans, but I haven't been very good with organizing those plans and sticking to them and not remaking the same plan over and over and keeping them in one place, yada, 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 right? So what I want to do for the coming years, I want to... Hey, Shelby, how are you doing? For the coming year, I definitely want to coalesce the plans more. I want to be more public about it. I want to put more dates on them. Maybe not specific dates, but, you know, hey, in the next 3 months, I'm working on this, you know, that kind of thing. And I want to use the community to hold me accountable. So maybe I'll get to doing things that need doing rather than, you know, avoiding doing them by doing other things, which is a lot of what I've been doing a lot in the last couple of years. And to start it off, I want to start a Trello board where I'm just going to make a column for each month. And I'm just going to do the first 6 months now. And I want to start just adding some bigger things, like sort of general goals that I want to do this year. So I'm going to put that in here, January. And, you know, this is sort of very rough. Maybe I'll do it in quarters. Maybe I'll do it in halves. Going forward, I don't know. March, April, May, and June. All right, and then we'll have the unsorted ones at the front over here, and maybe we'll go full screen on this for today. We'll probably don't need the text editor, right? So I guess I can just do that, and maybe if I do this, most of it will be on screen. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. And let me also open something on another window, on another screen, so I can look at some existing stuff. A lot of it is not really good for Stream, which is part of why I want to move it in here. Just things I've been writing down recently. And there's like a lot of small stuff, like some bugs that came up recently regarding... yeah. So for example, it's not really a big thing. It's not really what this list is supposed to be for, but I'll write it down. Hey, Mark. Which is the multi-page alphabetic input for mobile. So basically, just having a paginated version of the letter keypad for use on mobile. So if we have your letter tool on, I'll have to figure out something here. Maybe instead of the 0 or the O, have similar to the color, basically have 3 pages of letters that we can toggle through, or put it all on this button. So this button could be numbers and then 3 pages of letters. Although that might be annoying for people. I don't know. So, you know, because some people might want to switch back and forth just for quickly marking things with letters. They don't necessarily need the full alphabet. So probably, you have to be careful. I can't really go completely full screen since the left little bit is cut off. Yeah, that's something I just want to do. You know, there've been some alphabetic puzzles recently, and people were saying, "Oh, you know, I can do it on mobile." And you know, obviously, I want everybody to be able to play all puzzles. I want to get more consistent with my streams. I definitely want to start other streams during the week, just work streams. Somewhere I put a to-do item where I just want to create admin Mondays, where I'll work on certain things. I'll dedicate, like Monday has been a bit of a quiet day because I have the stream on Sunday, and then I'm kind of tired, and then I'll take Monday morning, very easy. But maybe it's a good time to kind of catch up on some admin stuff, do some stuff that, you know, design plans for the week, you know, do my taxes, stuff like that, you know, sort out my domain name renewal and anything like that, anything ops and admin related and so on. But let's put this one down for now. So we'll do multi or 26 letter support for mobile. Right? I'm just gonna put these in here, and then we can always add some. Can I? If I add it here. Wait. Open card. Why? Okay. Create 3 pages similar to color tool. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. But do this. For the stream might be easier to see. Yeah, like this. I'm also messing around because I got a new camera, so I have my old camera currently pointed at my keyboard, and I just alpha channel black because my pad, my desk pad is quite dark. You can see some streaks on it, some patterns on it. Now that the light shines out, you can see more of it, but I figured, you know, that way it doesn't cover too much of the screen. Similar to color tool, created 3 pages of letters. Perhaps use 0 button for page change, or use that location for the numeric / alpha switch, and use the middle button for page change to be consistent with the color palettes. Yeah, maybe we'll switch the buttons. So we have the same position. So maybe just like we're having the palette change here, we'll put the palette change here and then change this one to our, you know, back and forth, because then we're okay with 9, because 9 times 3 is 27. So we'll get our 26 letters, and we'll just leave out the last one to avoid confusion. O will no longer be available on the first screen as a 0, which some people... it is a bit annoying because, I mean, the 0 keyboard key might still work, so some people might use the first 10 letters to directly match to the digit 0 through 9. So if you're typing a 0, you get the O. That doesn't currently work that way, does it? Interestingly, on this font, 0 and O are identical. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's something I'll gotta do early in the year. And maybe I'll put some of these smaller things in there as well, just so you get a bit of a feel for the sort of stuff I'm doing. I gotta get rid of the, you know, seasonal customizations, right? So this font is gonna move into experimental under a custom puzzle font. And I added one like this, where the 6 and 9 are invertible, because somebody requested that, and I want to see if they're gonna do something with that. Yeah, the O and 0 are different. Interesting. Yeah, so that's a good first item. Let's create move Xmas seasonal fonts into experimental feature. Now that one is already, and these are things I want to do very soon. So these are all January items, and that's something that basically I've already done. I just need to clean up the code and kind of make sure everything works, do some testing, and then move it over. We also want to move the new effect, the snow cannon effect, which currently overrides the others. And now we'll basically make it just be on snow cannon, so people can still have the snow cannon, right? And this will also this is also kind of gonna be part of the trigger puzzle trigger system that I've been announcing when I worked on the dynamic fog stuff. So we kind of want to be able to have other things happen. So maybe the confetti cannon will be something that can be triggered by puzzle setters on specific digit reveals or something like that, right? Or maybe we'll have like a little fog particle effect for when you're revealing fog. Oh, I like that actually. Imagine like you do, and then you just have a few little fog, like little gray clouds, just kind of like just a handful, like 5 little particles, and they just slowly move out. Wait, cartoon cloud. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked, but you know, if I take something like this, what about cloud emoji? Is there more than one cloud emoji? Because there was more than one snowflake, so I was actually using emoji symbols for the snowflakes. Well, it's not really what I want anyways. But we basically just want to do kind of a couple of dark clouds, and ideally just single colors, something like that. Just a few random shapes. And I'll probably just make them out of circles or something. I actually did that for a game, so maybe I'll reuse that. And then just create them where the fog was, and then have them just slightly move and fade out to do the reveal. Maybe I'll throw stuff like this in. This is not really designed for that. I'll throw it in for right now, just because it pops into my head. Fog reveal effect clouds. And I think if I go here, I can just like create a few gray cloud particles that move a little while fading to reveal fogged cells. And maybe this will be this could go two ways. This could be some setting that people enable or disable. Same with the animated fog fade effect. I think that's currently here, puzzle fog animation. Or it could be something set by the setter. So the puzzle setter decides, oh yeah, that works thematically. This is actually one of those things. I'd like this to be enabled by default, but I think I had a performance issue. So in general, I need a way of measuring performance to kind of enable or disable certain effects, because most of the nice to have effects that are disabled by default, most people will never ever see, right? So maybe let me add that. Did I make a note? Yeah. That's definitely not something that's gonna go into the sorted months here. And I'd like to color them for some reason. Let me see if I can color these lists. Can I color this list? Change list color. I need to upgrade. Wow, really? Really? All right, if I'm gonna start using Trello again, I'll probably upgrade again. I used to pay for it, but then I didn't really use it much anymore. You see. Okay, no pricing. I don't want to start a trial without knowing the prices. Trello pricing. Because if it's like hundreds of euros per month or something, then I'm definitely not interested. Here we go. So $10 per month. Okay, that's doable. So the colored lists are under workspace. Because if I can go with standard and get the colored lists, try premium for okay. Shadow premium for 14 days. List colors. Okay. Can I not get list colors on the standard? Learn more about standard. That's not really very detailed. Trello list colors. So I'm guessing people are asking this question as well. How do I change the color? Different color list. Enable Pro for Trello. Oh, is that an extension? Okay. I might do this for now. Nope. Oh, it's no longer available. Pro for Trello extension. Or is it a monkey thingy-magic? Trello color list colors. Monkey. What am I using here? Temper monkey. Don't really need an extension for that, do I? Trello color lists. Maybe one of these will do the trick. This one last updated 7 years ago. Okay, maybe that's no longer gonna work. 2017. Okay, is that the same thing? It's the same thing. Does that still work? I have serious doubts. There are no open issues. Okay. How to install? New temp market. Install. Open the temp market dashboard. Create a new script. Paste it into your new script. Save the script. Just this. If I just do that, can I just take this and go into TemperMonkey and just say add? Like that. If I do this, is that gonna work? Let me refresh and hope I don't lose anything. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if it just doesn't work. All right, it's maybe not that easy. Customize a script, add a new color, add new list titles. Dark colors, list background. Add a color background to a list. In one of your trouble boards, first choose which color you want to use and list and update the appropriate color. For example, let's make your columns entitled incidents red. Oh, is it text-based? Okay, I'm not interested in that. Never mind. All right. Hey, Chameleon, how are you doing? Yeah, I think it happened before I finished the stream. So I let it run overnight and then I removed it again. This is actually another one for the to-do items. Let's, okay, we put that here. We leave it unsorted. Let's leave it unsorted for now. Maybe I'll do another list like low priority. No, we'll just leave them here. We'll see how they pile up. So one of the things I wanted to do, and I've been thinking about this for a while. So since I have that promo spot at the end of the puzzle, this one, nope, that doesn't show up here. But yeah, I have this promo space and I want to use it in various ways. And one of the things I want to use it one of the capabilities I want to build is I want to have them quite dynamic. So for example, I'd love to have one that comes up while I'm live streaming. So while I'm live streaming, it says, hey, I'm streaming live right now. If you have anything to report, if you want to chat with me, come on over. So that's one capability I want to have. Another capability I want to have is to have sort of kind of group things. So for example, I'd like to have a list of recommendable puzzles. So it's like, okay, people can submit puzzles and I put them in a list. And not for every promo, not for everybody, but sometimes, you know, it'll show that. And it'll be a precursor to in the future maybe having something like a related puzzles kind of thing, right? Well, it's not mine, but that's part of the Christmas thing I did last stream. So what I'm thinking of doing is, because right now I'm not sure, I think it loads the configuration file at the moment the dialog comes up, except it doesn't, you see? So it probably loads it, so if I look for config, yeah, it loads it when the puzzle starts. So somebody who plays a puzzle for a long time, let's say if they have a 1-2 hour solve, or they had left their laptop running or whatever, and it doesn't reload the page, I have no way of dynamically updating it unless I create code that kind of refreshes it often. So one of the things, how do you do advent of code? No, I've never done that. Thanks, Chameleon. I built it in CodePad a couple of streams ago. So if you want to look it up, you can go to my CodePen, and there should be it somewhere in here. Where is it? Didn't I put it in here somewhere? Here we go, confetti. Oh, I just updated the confetti gun with the snow effect. So if you're interested in the code and you want to reuse it, it's in here. Under codepen.io/Kilroy. Where was I? Oh yeah, so basically what I figured is I want to actually load the config as close to the dialog as possible. And since when the dialog pops up, this is when I also update the counter. And I don't actually want to send the whole config with all the current promos or past promos in it to the client, and then have the browser decide if to show it or not. I actually want to send a request to the server, make the decision there, and then send it back. So I figured I can wrap these things together. And on top of that, I need to update the counter, because the counter is completely independent of the puzzle database, and there's no integration right now. So what I want to do is I want to create a new API call that basically, as the puzzle is solved, when this dialog gets popped up, that's when I make a request to the server. I send over the same information that the counter gets. So basically the counter ID and the number of solves on this particular computer. That's the only information I'll send over, so I can decide which promo to show. And that means I can have something updating on the server. And then if I'm live streaming and I ping the server and say, hey, I'm live streaming now, then the server can say, okay, anybody who solves the puzzle between now and when the stream is over gets, or some certain number of them percentage-wise or whatever, gets shown that there's a live stream they can watch. And I can potentially also use that to update the counter database to include, the puzzle database to include the counter information. So it's kind of a many-in-one, like infrastructure update, updating what I can do with the counters, and updating what I can do with the promos, using kind of my stream notification as a test case, but not really the main purpose of this. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the code pen is nice because you can see it in action and can try it out and stuff, and you don't have to kind of dig around. All right, so let's, this is also something, this is a January task, definitely. So we'll do a puzzle completed API, server API. And specifically, this is gonna be, it's going to have, this is the description, yeah. So this should, refactor counter updates into this API call and update puzzle DB to also handle counters. Now, what I need to do, think about with the counters is if I want to group them by like time, so I can maybe do, say, graphs over time and things like that. Because right now I just have a number, but what I really kind of want is a log of when puzzle solves get submitted, and I have to do some math to figure out. And I might actually do that in an SQL database like SQLite or something like that, which I've been wanting to set up and run on the server for ages anyways. I'm not super happy with MongoDB, and I always used to solve my problems with SQL, and it was never really a big deal, and I don't know why everybody's so obsessed with NoSQL. And then the second part is refactor count updates into this API call and update puzzle DB to also handle. Send progress count to server and handle promo selection on server and return from API call. And that one is definitely something I want to do in January. And that's kind of the sort of big-ish, it's a medium-sized feature. And I'll probably want to come up with some tagging and so on to mark these. Yeah, did I add refactor or update snow cannon effect to no longer override other effects? Now the problem with that is it'll be hard to handle defaults, because I think it basically changed everybody's settings. So if I just leave it at that, but maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's not a big deal. The dog? I hope it's a small dog. All right, let's see if some of the bigger ones. Yeah, I definitely want to do more like live streams during the week, and like I want to, there's a reason it's called Code Hangout, because I always plan to have other streams with different names. I haven't quite figured that out yet, how I'm going to do. I definitely want to start doing YouTube videos. Now that I have the 1,000 subs, I realize I don't have a lot of view times because I think the streams don't count. So I'll probably have to start doing videos, and I've been wanting to do that for a long time. It scares me, so I haven't tried it. But in reality, if I don't try it, I won't get any good at it. So I want to start doing some videos, and maybe January is a good place to do at least the first one, right? And I'm thinking like, there's a couple of things I'd like to do, maybe like a monthly recap announcement, sort of, what features have been added, what features are planned, what issues have come up, things happening in the community, etc. That kind of thing. I'm also thinking of maybe doing shorts for like specific features. That's something I would have liked to do for a long time. So if I have some help pages or documentation, I can actually link to a video that shows off a specific feature. So maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll add these as 2 items to show how important it is. Create. Now with the videos themselves, I'm not super sure if I want to do like a specific thing, or if I can also do something that's kind of the live stream, but maybe in video format, maybe a little bit edited, maybe I'll make a specific something. I don't know. We'll see. Create first YouTube video, scripted video. So I actually also want to learn how to sit down and write a script and all this sort of thing. And maybe something like talking about the future of SudokuPad, or my plans for SudokuPad 2.0, or what's going on with the mobile apps and how I'm gonna plan to update them and things like that. Like maybe it'll be enough if I just grab a cup of coffee and I just talk to myself for 10, 20 minutes and get it all out there, something that people should know, right? And maybe I'll try scripting it, maybe I'll try ad-libbing it, maybe do a couple of these without publishing them and see how it goes, right? So let's see if we can come up with some ideas. Maybe how about preview/recap video monthly ? They're laying out plan or issue such as SudokuPad 2.0 or mobile app update. So kind of letting people know what's going on and what the problems is, or why something is the way it is. And what's the other one? Yeah, shorts. I was going to do the shorts as a separate thing. So these are just some ideas, right? And that's definitely something I want to do in January. Maybe not above these. Maybe here. And first, YouTube short. Short clip showing of a specific feature or help/doc purposes. All right. That's not super urgent, but I'll, if I can squeeze that in on Monday, in January, maybe I'm already overloading myself, so maybe even that should be in February. Maybe it's too early. Well, I want to actually. These are kind of urgent data. This is not super urgent because that's been pending for a long time. All right. Accountability streams, that's kind of, having a stream where I announce what I'm gonna do. I'd love to also do more public planning stuff like this Trello board, like something that anybody can see, but I haven't quite decided yet where that should happen. Maybe the best place would be Git issues, but they're not really super friendly. It might have to be eventually just a page on my own site. Like I might have to just do it properly. So I mean, if I go to demo / like for example, media appearances, that page. Like I have a place on the website, it's just not currently. Oh yeah, another big one is a dashboard for myself. So I need an admin dashboard. So I need a dashboard because currently there's certain tasks people ask me to do, like, oh, can you reset a counter for me or whatever? And I can do them, but sometimes it's not trivial, and and quite often things don't work out the way I thought because I don't do them often enough. And then I panic, and then I have to do lots of testing, and it's quite time consuming. So I definitely need a dashboard where I encapsulate some of these things. So I don't SSH into the server and manually do things, right? And I'll definitely need to make a list of very specific things that I'm gonna do here. So a admin dashboard for repeated support and ops tasks. And then I can just make a list here, and then I'll say things like resetting counters, clearing Short IDs. Updating puzzles. Let's see. Although updating puzzles is served relatively well, but it would still be like some things that just because I have a, I have some bookmarklet to do it, I still kind of want to have a UI for it, like a simple form, just because it's easy to forget scripts and commands and stuff. While a UI that executes the script for you, it's kind of like built-in documentation, right? We wanna, I definitely need to do very specific SudokuPad 2.0 feature planning. So I definitely want to make a very kind of public effort to kind of describe what is SudokuPad 2.0. Kind of publicly define the direction for SudokuPad 2.0. So I kind of want to let people know what to expect, where things will be going, what I understand on SudokuPad 2.0, right? SudokuPad mobile app update. Now that's a huge one, and it's probably gonna go further down the year, for sure. There's a small one that's on my to-do list. Okay, that's more like a bug fix. I don't even know if that should go in this list. Small fixes. Small fixes probably should be one in each month, and then I can just add things here on a list, right? So then I can just do, actually I can just do this, right? Like get rid of that, and I can say, auto start timer after out of space warning dialog, because currently I'm not clearing my space on, I think, beta. No, on let me see, SudokuPad. I think here I'm full at the moment, or either here. Yeah, so I'm not clearing this in the moment because I actually want to test something here. But right now what happens is, because it overrides the start of puzzle dialog, which starts your timer, this one doesn't start the timer. So I've had a whole bunch of puzzles where I didn't have the timer started. I also want to add a way of updating the timer automatically when you haven't started the timer throughout the puzzle. Like if the puzzle timer is 0 at the end of the puzzle, it should just automatically set the time. Auto start, or offer to update timer if puzzle is solved while paused. I might also just auto unpause it. I don't think there's any reason for anybody, like if they don't like the timer, they can just hide the timer. So I'll probably just want to auto unpause puzzle if solved while paused. This is basically always an error. All right. So small fix. These can go into January. This is all still doable. January's getting a little full. So then generally I want to, I got some equipment. I got a little touch screen. I got a touchpad. But I haven't really done a lot of the work to kind of fix these things, these issues. Although these aren't really well-defined tasks, maybe I shouldn't write them here now. Like I wanted to have some sort of generic, because I realized that my touchpad here, I can do zoom events like this that aren't like counteracted by my own algorithm. Like the browser zoom gets counteracted, but the touchpad zoom doesn't. Maybe that's one specific thing I can actually do. Detect touchpad gestures. Specifically detect pinch zoom correctly and compensate if possible. It might not be possible. I don't know how this stuff works. So that information might not actually come through. And that's definitely not a high priority item. Hey, Jakub. Yeah. the fog stuff has gone away. The problem is I cannot update the app as it is. I need to basically rebuild it, which isn't really terrible. At this point, I probably have spent more time trying to update the app than it originally took me to build the app. So, especially if I don't like completely redesign the UI or anything like that, the hardest thing will be to make it backwards compatible, and it'll be. But since it's basically impossible to maintain the existing data, unfortunately, maybe backwards compatibility isn't actually that important either. But I'll definitely, I definitely would want a warning before people update, except I can't do that until I update the app. So there's a lot of, which is part of the reasons why it hasn't been updated. But that is a big task. It's not just like I press a few buttons, you know. Like I've literally spent weeks, full-time weeks of work over the last 2 years trying to get the app updated. And like I have it like most of the way there, but like not good enough, frankly. Yeah, it's not the CTC puzzle software. They actually have their own software. They just use it because mine is better than their own. That's why they use mine. Oh, I almost put my mug on top of the muffin that I have here. Oh, this coffee was foul. It was cold and bitter. Oh yeah, a big one. I want to reorganize how I use Patreon. I definitely want to have... I've tried a year or two ago to interact with my patrons more, and I probably bungled it quite badly. So I think I need to be more systematic about it. People recently asked me for a Patreon tier that already existed, so I obviously need to let people know exactly how Patreon works, and I need to kind of commit to regular updates. So probably together with the sort of monthly video, maybe I'll have a monthly post on Patreon, and maybe it'll be exclusive for Patreon. You know, it's very, very insider data anyways. And it could be exactly the reason people might want to sign up. Maybe it's available to free signups, but it'll give people a reason to sign up. So regular Patreon updates. Monthly Patreon posts with review and reviews. So I'd like to like kind of say, okay, this was the plan for January, this is what happened, you know, and I might even start with a sort of review of 2024 and a preview of 2025, because I had a lot of big plans for 2024, and some of them didn't work, or the really big ones didn't really work out, but actually I did a lot of work towards that, so I'm not actually too upset. The app is mostly the web browser code, but, you know, it needs another interface, right? Like I said, I've done it before, I can do it again. Inverse selection. Control I during letter mode. Currently inserts eye pencil markers control settings. I mean, that's either a bug or an issue with the settings. There just isn't... you know, the problem is it's just not possible. I cannot have Control I be both a center marked eye as well as an invert, right? So there's always gonna be conflicts. And in a browser, I only have access to so many hotkeys, and some of the ones I'm relying on are even not available in all browsers, so it's already a mess, right? And on top of that, I have multiple hotkeys for the same thing, which of course reduces the number of available hotkeys. So the real solution, or the only pragmatic long-term solution I can see for that, is basically customization, right? So my plan has always been that that you have basically, just like you would have in a video game, you'll have a screen with all the key bindings and maybe up to 2 bindings for every thing, for every action that you can take. And you have a full configuration, and right now it'll just be the default, but then you can change it. And then you can, if you have a conflict on your mobile device, you can change that. And if you have a touchpad on your laptop, you can change it, right? And then for people who do certain things in certain ways, they can change it to work in certain ways. Because if I change that, everybody else will complain, or many, many others will probably complain of the reverse. And I've had that, right? I had people asking for A, and then the moment I did A, the people who didn't like A came out asking for B, and And people who ask for it, to them it's obvious, but they don't realize lots of other people use the app in different ways, right? This is something I want to do well, and I'm tempted to punt it down the line, but I kind of have to start doing it. Otherwise, it's not a monthly thing if I don't do it in a month, right? So I might actually have to do this in January. So some of the other things might have to move a little bit. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I've often asked them, to be honest, when I started with them, I thought, hey, that's exactly where my revenue will come from, that they will switch those apps to doing them with me. And apparently they thought differently. So it was very upsetting because they didn't even ask me. They didn't even talk to me about it. And now their developers are slowly playing catch up, implementing the features that fog features, like features that I've kind of worked out and borne the cost of figuring out if it's feasible and what people want and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. Oh yeah, update media appearances. Update media appearances page. Yeah, so I want to create some pages where I just list, like here, for example, I want to list all the interviews I've done, but I want to have them with screenshots and stuff. This is just more of a to-do list, and the video by there's an indie dev who did a really nice video about sort of, not SudokuPad specifically, but anyway, I want to put this on here. That's definitely been on my to-do item ever since I actually built the page, but then, didn't finish it. So it's not an urgent thing, but I definitely should look into that. There's also a couple other pages I started, so let me actually have a quick look. So we had media appearances. We have the list. Was the list just... That's actually a good question. The list, is that in my slash demo slash... Is that it? Nope. Yeah. Well, user accounts, that's the big thing, but I need to approach that in different steps, and that actually brings me to the real big feature for 2025. Puzzle Hall of Fame, yes. Create Puzzle Hall of Fame page. I think the Hall of Fame page already exists, but I haven't really gotten anything in it yet. Hall of Fame. And here, basically, I want to do certain puzzles that are relevant to SudokuPad, like the first fog puzzle, things like that. Puzzles that show off certain features, the Sudoku pillar. Sudoku pillar? Am I saying it right? No. Anyway, the giant big puzzle. All those kind of things. I want to have a nice list, but obviously something that looks nice. Or, yeah, update. I mean, I've started it. It now needs a style, and it needs some puzzles on it. And maybe it needs maybe these need to be tied to the dashboard. So maybe instead of relying on me to, edit the HTML, maybe they can go into my dashboard, and I can use them as an excuse to extend the dashboard. Perhaps dashboard creation. I'm going to put that as a note for both of those. Like that. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I definitely want to... I think it's not a secret that eventually I want to be, well, the YouTube of puzzles. So obviously, eventually I want to be a place where people can find new puzzles, which is kind of the biggest lack on SudokuPad at the moment. But I'm kind of working my way towards it in a roundabout way. And things like having a place where I can highlight some puzzles, and having the promo page where I can show some puzzles to players after they've solved a puzzle. These are all sort of small research projects that'll give me an idea of what I can do, what will work, what my audience likes. It'll be nice to see, hey, what percentage of people will play a puzzle that's on that recommended list, By the way, the keyboard cam, I don't know if that makes sense. Is that distracting, or is that kind of a cute little feature or something? I mean, I'm not playing StarCraft 2 here. The Devil's Halo. Yeah, that'll be the other thing, right? I'd like to be able to like I'd like to have a way of soliciting, you know, submissions and things like that, right? There's a Devil's Horseshoe. Okay, that's not it. Okay, that's not it. Show results with SudokuPad. Maybe it's not a... It's not a SudokuPad puzzle? Is it on LMG? All right, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll get enough puzzles for the list eventually. Okay, I think that's quite a few items from this list. Yeah, there's some issues. I mean, there's like small fixes. It's like QWERTY, not really something for this particular list. I already squeezed more little things in there than I should have. Develop real best for custom short IDs. Yeah. So that's the other thing. I want to create, because ultimately I want to have accounts and basically give everybody a dashboard about their puzzles, about their solves, about all this sort of stuff. But I want to also not have to, you know, do a year's worth of work without knowing if it'll lead anywhere. So I'd like to build pieces of it in smaller ways. So one of the things is I'd like to have a dashboard with sign-in for the people who are in the SudokuPad Pro Patreon tier and have certain special features like the access to custom short IDs and so on. So let's call it Setter Dashboard. Setter Dashboard. And specifically authenticated dashboard for Setter features SudokuPad Pro Patreon tier. And we'll just make a list here. Things like short ID, custom short IDs, puzzle stats, promo. Yeah, I could maybe let them organize promos, you know, or puzzles or videos or whatever they like. That's kind of a longer term, so it doesn't have to be early. So let's move it a little bit down. Let's move it down March. I don't know, something like that. Where did you put the link? Don't post it in YouTube. I don't think posting links will work there. And you might actually get yourself in trouble. I don't know. Post it in Discord. All right. There's a couple other things I would like to set up. They're not really urgent. So I have plausible stats, but I'd like to actually start having stats on my server because, you know, all the traffic goes to my server anyways, and then sending it somewhere else doesn't seem really necessary. So maybe something like hosted analytics, and then I can do things without cookies and without extra requests, right? Set up. Let me see. Plausible self-hosting. Plausible has a self-hosted version. And I currently have the paid version, but I don't know if that, you know, it's being sponsored by university, and I don't know if that'll work forever. Can I get access to the... they don't seem to happily link to it here. Okay, GitHub. All right, set up self-hosted plausible from. Also collect some basic stats directly, basic puzzle stats directly in the server. And this is more of a long-term sort of researchy kind of task, not really anything to do specifically. So maybe down the line a little bit. We do this. And it must be an old one. It doesn't have authorship details. It doesn't have a solution. It must be an old one. Is this a puzzle on LMD? It's untitled. All right, I don't really know what to do with this. It does have videos about it. Let's see how old these are. I'm assuming this is an older puzzle. We have this one. This one. And this one. Why are there 3? Or is it just because they mentioned this puzzle for some reason? Mentioned in Science Video, they'd like to launch a competition featuring this wonderful puzzle with couple of lines. Is it the same puzzle? No. Is this the puzzle? No. Is this the puzzle? Ah, wait, that's squaring the circle again. This one. Is this the puzzle? Yeah. Is that? No, that's it. Not it either. Okay. What's up with this puzzle? There's an anti-night restriction. Okay, I don't really know why you would recommend that puzzle. Is it good? I mean, I think what I'll have to do is, because I'm not as familiar with these puzzles as you guys are, I'll probably have to set up a formal sort of submission process and then kind of rely on the community to kind of fill up that list of the Hall of Fame. And initially it'll be puzzles that that mean something for me. For example, you know, like the first fancy Fog of War puzzles, or puzzles that popularize a specific feature, you know, or puzzles, you know, maybe the most played puzzle ever, things like that, right? Or yeah, a bunch of puzzles that were done for me, kind of like to have my name in it, or have SudokuPad in it, or anything like that. So puzzles like that will go in there initially. All right, let's see. So that's kind of this basic list that I kind of threw together very recently. Of course, I have so many lists, and I've done so much planning. Let's look at the big picture. So the big picture is obviously a full-on account system. And the puzzle database was the first step towards it, but there's so many other steps that need to be done. And I can't do the whole thing in one go. I've realized that. So I'm going to build smaller pieces. And one of the pieces I want to do, yeah, something like that. Hey, GDC. Yeah, for sure. For both aspects. I think people are just waiting for something like that. In fact, I'll probably get so many submissions that not only do I need a form, I'll probably need a whole place for people to vote on it as well, so I don't have to decide on it myself. And maybe we'll do something like a weekly or monthly thing where, kind of like an award ceremony where there's a community vote, which is like 20% of it, then maybe there's like a Patreon vote, which is like another 20%. Or maybe community's 30%, Patreon is 30%, and then I'm the remaining 40% or something like that, right? I mean, it's not like the one place to publish puzzles on SudokuPad. It's just a small page I want to have available to me to kind of place a few things on, right? And it's not something I can put 1,000 things on it either, right? Although in the future it might have to get subcategories and things like that, you know? Best feature puzzle, best audience puzzle, most popular, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe we'll make like awards out of it or something. Not awards, wrong word, but you know what I mean. Categorized things, right? All right, so the big feature that 2024 was supposed to provide is the user accounts. And with user accounts would come a lot of things that people want, you know, things like maintaining progress of puzzle amongst multiple devices. You know, you can continue on your phone after you've played something on your computer, etc., etc. A place for setters to have a list of all their puzzles. Puzzles being tied to a setter, so so I know who owns a puzzle and let them update the puzzle, so they don't have to create anonymous puzzles over and over and over and things like that, right? And then better attribution of ratings and all this sort of stuff. The other thing that have been on my mind for multiple years now is a puzzle marketplace. There's some people out there that are setting puzzles on their Patreon or on Etsy or on Substack commercially, right? And I have maybe one of the larger audiences for these types of puzzles. So I definitely would like to kind of enable that and centralize that. And it's a bit difficult because it involves a lot of work and features and things that I'm personally not very good at, business and charging people money over the internet and things like that I haven't really done in the past. But I want to start it, right? And one of the things I want to do is to basically have something like puzzle packs, right? So instead of, my plan was actually to build a paid app, like a separate app using my game engine on mobile with a specific set of puzzles. Kind of what CTC did before they had the current app, right? And it didn't quite work out, and it's a lot of work, and I thought maybe what's actually better is, because I have a lot of users on the web app, more users than on the mobile app, right? Is to have initially something where people can just purchase puzzles on the web app, right? And operate it similar to something like artisanal Sudoku that James Sinclair runs, right? So that's kind of something I want to build, and it'll help me to build a first version of how do I give limited access to identified users with accounts, charge money, and then have some quality of life features, such as tracking the puzzles, give them a list of puzzles, things like that, right? So the idea is to basically have a little, kind of think of it like as if, like the Hall of Fame, except each is a puzzle pack and you can buy them. And, maybe they won't be expensive, and maybe we'll do some shenanigans, like if you bought a certain number of packs, you'll get other packs of that period, or, there's all sorts of things I want to experiment with. But I need a place where I can do that. Initially, and eventually I'd like to have it open, and eventually I'd like for setters to be able to just sign up and put up their puzzles, right? But initially I'll curate specific things with, likely not myself, like work together with puzzle setters who've done this sort of thing before. And we'll see how it goes. So let's create something for that. So it'll probably be something like a puzzle pack shop. That's probably the easiest way to describe it, right? But it'll be like a really big piece of work. So it's not going to be just like 1 to 2 item and I'll check it off, right? Let's kind of try to see if we can describe it a little. Eventually, yeah, I'll definitely, to be honest, actually, some of the academic professors I'm working with already looking into analyzing puzzle data and so on and so forth. So it'll be very interesting, especially when it comes to difficulty, right? It would be really nice to be able to guess a player's skill just from how they play puzzles and their replay data and things like that. So it'll be great to be able to say, okay, or even to compare setters' estimations of their own difficulties, right? So somebody setting their puzzle as a 5 out of 5, how does that compare to how people actually play them versus somebody who sets their puzzles 4 out of 5? Is their 4 out of 5 the same as a 5 out of 5 from another setter, or a 3 out of 5 from another setter, etc., right? So kind of automated estimation of difficulties for specific players, things like that I'm definitely working on. In fact, there's quite a bit more to talk about in a minute. So let me write this down quickly. So offer puzzle packs for sale on SudokuPad. Initially few/small packs to gauge interest and establish functionality. Test basic user accounts to track purchases and owned/played puzzles. Offer free demo puzzles with each puzzle pack. Maybe the demo puzzles require a sign-in as well. I don't know yet. But this is definitely something that'll probably get a whole board like this of its own. So I'm going to leave this under unsorted because I'll probably want to break this down into subtasks, and then those will go into these specific months, because this is not something I can do in a month, right? So the other thing I'm working on is a plagiarism system. So basically, the academics I'm working with want to basically start using puzzles as part of educational systems, like both for lower education as well as university. And there was some concern about people just copying a puzzle they found online for an assignment. For me personally, the plagiarism angle isn't that important, but I for a long time have been interested in puzzle identity, right? Because, for example, if you look at my weekly stats, you'll see that there are 3,000 new short IDs, but only 1,100 new puzzles in a week. So that means on average, there's like 3 short IDs per puzzle. And if I look at the counter IDs versus the short IDs, there's almost 4 times as many short IDs as there are counters. So 3 to 1 to 4 to 1, and then sometimes, for example, here's a puzzle that had 65 short IDs done in that week. But like a few weeks ago, there was a puzzle with, I think, 500. These nameless Sudokus obviously don't. Yeah. So for example, this individual puzzle had 552 versions of it done, right? So it would be nice to have an algorithm that can match all those versions together and say, oh, yeah, these are related puzzles, right? And create almost a history of the puzzle being created. Now, in the future, with user accounts and stuff, obviously, I would like to have almost like a Git history. Like when you're creating a puzzle, you won't just create new puzzles each iteration, but you'll just modify an existing puzzle and it'll have just an edit history, right? But it would also be nice to establish that edit history retroactively. And I'm working on a couple of different ways of identifying puzzles. One will be visual, so it'll just be a fuzzy visual match. So boards that look similar are more likely to be similar puzzles. Of course, for very simple empty-ish boards, that's harder to do, right? But it's just one of many different measures. So I'm going to work on that, and that'll be part of a grant and university project and things like that. But for a plagiarism system. But for me, it'll be interesting to say, hey, this puzzle is similar to this puzzle, or these are identical, or even optimizations, like saying, okay, these 5 puzzles, they're all the same. I can actually merge them together and redirect the short IDs to one puzzle and things like that. So I'm gonna put this in as a puzzle similarity algorithm. Well, it's not just that, because I think one of the parts of it is not just comparing 2 puzzles, but it's the ability to compare one puzzle to 200,000 puzzles in the database, right? So let me see. Puzzle similarity algorithm. So that doesn't really capture it per se. Maybe puzzle plagiarism checker. Plagiarism checker. Maybe the negative connotation I have with it are maybe not. Maybe they're just in my head. So academic system to compare new puzzles to existing database and find closely matching puzzles. Yeah. Hey, Alikin, how are you doing? I've had problems with other soundtracks I was listening to, including those that I got explicit permission from the authors to use, and I still got hit on the head. So this one seems to be pretty safe so far. Let's see. So part of what I'm doing for this, for example, I created a system to generate images, and I'll probably need to improve on that to figure out a way of keeping that list up to date and creating different sets of images. So, I mean, just to show you what that might look like, you'll have things like that. And if we go to here and we'll just search for PNG files, and which hotkey combo is it? Is it Control-Alt-1? Yeah. And, you know, there'll be a lot of these, like 170,000 of these, right? A couple of gigabytes of data. And I need to figure out how to do that on the server reliably and, you know, long term. And probably I'll want to have smaller versions for the checking and then larger versions for actual display as well. And even on these, I've done some checks with sort of image. Yeah, so for example, you can see these three are basically the same puzzle. These are, if not the same puzzle, stages of development for the same puzzle, probably. Like you can visually, you can very quickly see puzzles that are similar or the same. Wait, what? That's, yeah, that's weird. It doesn't seem to be in the same sort order as what I'm seeing here on the screen. Aw, somebody made a face with a hat on it. And you can even see the iteration. So this person was obviously iterating, trying to figure out how to put the hat and, you know, very colorful puzzles. So, we'll have a couple of methods. Visual, similarity, measure, keyword, matching. So the idea is that it's very hard to write a whisper puzzle rule without the word whisper in it. So there's probably a couple of, or killer. So words like whisper and killer, you know, if one puzzle contains it, the other one doesn't, or if they both contain it, or the both subset of sort of keywords, they're more likely to be the same puzzle, right? Even if the rules were reworded or rewritten, things like that. Hey, Sasha Fury. Ah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. So we have keyword matching, rules text. Now, generally speaking, like very basic matches like hashes of the data don't really work well because the data can be transformed and still represent the same puzzle. But in the future, this work will also help me potentially to try to enumerate puzzle features. So it's like, okay, visually the puzzle looks like this, right? But what does that mean? You know, what is the singular way of expressing there is a thermometer between these coordinates, right? Like a thermometer, for example, it's just a, you know, like you could have multiple chain thermometers and they would be functionally identical, right? So you can express the same rule. Like somebody could replace a thermometer with greater than symbols, right? And it would be still the same puzzle. But if you check for the rules, it might not actually match. Solution checking should surely work. But it might have to include variations, right? Like rotations, include variations, normalize. So that's kind of one of the checks I want to do. And I was starting to think, because we've talked about this for the last couple of meetings. Because I kind of try to stay away from checking the data, because even if, let's say, if one puzzle is in FPuzzles format and the other one is in SCL format or PenPa format, that's already might be very hard to kind of compare them. Obviously, I'd have to convert them all, and then I can't guarantee that the conversion is always going to lead to the same data, right? I'm trying to think what else. For now, maybe this is enough. Today, we're not actually designing the system, right? And this is something I need to start work on. So I'm going to leave that here. And I'll probably pull out small tasks. So maybe we'll make another list for like the macro tasks rather than just unsorted. So maybe what I can do is add another list. Macro tasks. Call them epics, call them projects, you know, they kind of go in there. And then maybe unsorted actually goes down the lane here. Did I not just move that? All right. So then we can have macro tasks here and then pull out small tasks for the other things, right? The one of the macro tasks would be updating these pages. This is, yeah, okay, this we can do. Let me see. There was another one that's kind of, yeah, this is a macro task, right? And I think for the mobile update, this time I'll upfront kind of redefine sort of the user interface, plan it out, functionality, make sure. There's a lot of things I've learned. There's little things like, hey, I need a place in the app where I can communicate live to the users, right? So if there's a problem, like right now, for example, if I update the app, everybody will lose their data, but there's no way of letting people know, right? So I need a page like the hint of the day or whatever at the front where I can actually inject something. So the puzzle checks with the server, is there any new information, right? And then it'll let people know, right? I need to definitely implement proper saving into native file systems, right? Ideally, I also implement cloud saves with the respective app stores, right? Google Play, iOS Store, rather than just my own system. And then ultimately my own system as well, if I can. Things like that. And I need to specify them cleanly up front, document them, and then kind of implement them very strategically. Let's put it that way. All right. This is getting actually pretty close to what I wanted to do. Let me just... I have a couple of very rough things. I mean, there's the Mac OS version. There's Chinese Android version. There's kind of these bigger things. Proof rules dialog with counter. Etc. Okay. Syncs. Proof rules dialog. Oh yeah, fair enough. Sync state between domains. Temporary ID. Add puzzle links to solve countertop. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's another page. Let me see. Where is that page? Where does that live? Is it no, stats? Is it? Yeah. Huh. I think that might actually be on the other part of the app. So that's another problem I have, is that the app is kind of split into parts and they're not necessarily all in the same place or in the right places. It's not here. HTML. Counter stats. Counter stats. Okay, so that, yeah, definitely. So this page should actually move to the server, to the SudokuPad app server rather than the core engine. All right, so move counter stats from core to server. Now that's a small task, but I think actually, what was the to-do item I was just reading? Add puzzle links. Okay, so these should now get backlinked to the puzzles. Okay, so that's something I'd already forgotten about. I'd like to read. The only issue is this is not a one-to-one mapping, right? So if we go to plausible to my stats app, and we'll go for the counter IDs, right? And we'll select one and edit that, make it this one. And then we'll say, yeah, year to date is fine. Oh. Nope, we didn't want to do that. So that is this puzzle, this particular puzzle. And yeah, so you can see there's like 800 of this ID and then 1,800 plays on this ID. So this puzzle has been played on different IDs. Which plus is it? Rising Circles. Oh yeah, so for example, this might be a Hall of Famer. I think this was the first circle count puzzle, or one of the first ones. But why is this... It feels much higher here. Year to date. I mean, the counters goes back further than this year. And that's another problem, is that the counters are not time constrained, right? So these are all time. So older puzzles will always be at the top. So the counters, that all needs to change. That all needs to be time-based. Well, Jean-Paul, when you're writing a software, that is a software solver. So you cannot say how hard is it to write a software solver that's better than a software solver. You might want to check out Ranks solver, because I think it uses advanced heuristics basically already. Hey, Flinty. You're 15. 17. Oh, there you are. Look at that. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at your puzzle. Let's see. So I'm guessing this puzzle came out last year. Yeah, my stats don't go that far, so it's not gonna reflect this 18,000 sols here. So I guess it came out January. Oh, so it did come out this year, early this year. January or... Yeah, January it seems to have come out. Excellent. Now it's interesting that this number is this much smaller than this. Because plausible... Oh no, I launched it in December 2023. Okay, so it might have... But it has complete 0 there. So if it launched before then, it was likely to not be completely 0 in December. So I wonder what this deficit means compared to these numbers. Property counter ID. Like, I don't know what I'm miscounting here. I mean, we have 7,300 events. And these don't match up. 3.7 thousand page views. But how do we have... because multiple API calls on the same visit, I suppose. Huh. Yeah, stuff like that, I definitely need to create my own kind of stats for that. All right, so what did we say about that? Move counters from core to server. Let's do this. Update counter stats.html. And part of that is gonna be move counter stats from core to server. Link counters to puzzles if possible. So one of the problems is that the counter IDs do not uniquely link to a specific puzzle. Each of these counter IDs has multiple puzzles associated with it. So here you can see, for example, a bunch of them. What I don't know if I can check maybe the most recent. Like I'd like to compare, for example, these two. Now, if they're identical, that's not a problem. And they look fairly similar, right? But for example, if one of them has a fix or an improvement, let's say it had the solution added that was forgotten in one of them, then obviously I want to link to the one that's the best, right? That might be a bit tricky. Yeah, I had completely forgotten about this page. Holy moly. 62,722 different counters. And it's interesting that how it compares to this list, because it's a completely independent set of stats. This is pre-puzzle database, so this doesn't use anything from the puzzle database. Total solves recorded is over 17,800,000 so far. Yikes. Almost 18 million. So we'll probably reach 20 million pretty soon. Yeah, this one sees 62,700 different puzzles, while here we're only seeing 59. So there's at least 3,000 or 4,000 puzzles that have never been touched since the puzzle database launched, like, I think in March or something of 2024. Average solves per puzzle with at least 2 solves. 391. That's quite a lot. And that's what, like, often I talk to people and they talk about, oh, you know, out of my 13 puzzles, out of my 13 solves on Logic Masters Germany, somebody give me a bad rating and now my puzzle's ruined forever. That'll be the difference with SudokuPad. The numbers are just so much bigger that I probably won't even show, you know, certain, you know, like ratings and comments until a puzzle has reached 100 solves or something like that, right? Like I'll look at, okay, what percentage of puzzle? How long does it take a puzzle on average to reach 100 solves? Things like that, right? I don't know how big I can make this number because I think it's just whatever is, yeah. So it doesn't like 1,000. Maybe it does like 1,000. I don't know. Yeah, it does like 1,000. I think it's sending 1,000 with the API call. So yeah, the thousands puzzle has over 4,000. So there's at least 1,000 puzzles with more than 4,000 solves, for sure, right? And I don't know how that compares with Logimas Germany. I mean, they have probably 5 digits of puzzles in their list. Most of the puzzles here probably are in Logimas Germany as well, but their total solve numbers will be much lower. 496 for the thousands setter. Now that's actually more impressive, I think, because there's many fewer setters than their puzzles. Yeah, in fact, you know, the top 20% of setters all have almost 500 solves on their puzzles. So that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm probably not very related because the fun is, I think, quite specific, a quite important part of the name. What else do I want to do with that in the short term? Probably those are just the main things I want to do. Almost not even a macro task. I think that's maybe something we can do in March or pull forward. Like the nice thing about this is I can move them quite easily, you know. We'll have to see. Okay. I think generally this already looks quite busy. But some of these are very small. Like in a week, I can probably knock out the 3 small ones. But these are all new things. These are all things I just thought up. So they don't include all the things I already have mentally scheduled that need to get going, right? All right. So that's one of the things I definitely want to do for 2025 is to organize this. Now, this is not the final form. I'm just putting this together quickly. I'd like to have this be more visually insightful, including, I don't know. I mean, GitHub has like a calendar control, but GitHub is not super friendly. And I'm wondering if I might just be better to create my own page somewhere with a rough something, you know, something like this, right? Just a rough, this is what we're gonna do, you know? But maybe maybe the dashboard is kind of the trick there. If I build the admin dashboard, maybe part of that can be a sort of to-do list, you know, kind of something generic. You know, think a simple blog app where I'm just having a list of entries and they go on a page and they're either formatted as puzzles or they're formatted as to-do list items or whatever. So we have meta, you know, that, the Hall of Fame. Should be relatively simple. All right. I think I might actually do a little bit of just regular work now as well, because I don't want to actually just I'm kind of burning out on this planning stuff, and there's a couple of pending things. Let's see. So I'm working on basically moving the seasonal features that I built for Christmas and move them into like real things, you know, that can sit there. And I kind of would like to do it right now because I want to publish beta to production fairly soon. So these should be fairly safe things, and they need to be done for the next sort of production update. And there's a couple of people waiting for specific features. So let's see. What I haven't done yet is I haven't removed the code from seasonal. I have added puzzle font as a new feature. I've added 1 new font. So let's have a quick look. I think in this one, yeah. So here, if I go to experimental and go to custom puzzle font, I could select that. All right. And I'm glad to see. So these also should work. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, they should also work for the whole alphabet. Yeah, okay. What are we missing for these, right? We are missing the removal of the old code in feature seasonal. So let's do that. That should be saved. I think the last thing I did here was updating all of these. Also, I would like to rename all the files from this 2024 folder name. It's a bit annoying. Maybe I'll do that with Git. Public, staging, assets, Git MV 2024 to fonts. All right. Can't have that open. Nope. Is it open over here? Maybe. Close this as well. Yeah. Where else would it be open? Text editor? Hmm. Maybe shut down the server? Okay, I think that did it. Ooh, nope. All right, so now these should just be moves and not adds and deletes and all that sort of thing. And we'll probably need to change them here. So let's change all of this to fonts. Right, and then find all of 2024. Okay, there's no more 2024 in there? Is that right? Oop, need to restart the server. All right, seems to work. Okay, it makes our change list a little bit annoying. Okay, finally we want to update feature seasonal to no longer have all that code in there, so we don't just bloody duplicate it all. All right, let me see. FFF. And by the way, most of my streams are just like that, me just doing sort of small bookkeeping tasks. Sometimes I start big features, but I think the other thing I want to do is I want to try to limit myself more to things I can start and finish within the stream. Because usually if the stream cuts the work short, it causes problems. Doesn't mean I cannot break a bigger task down into like 2 stream tasks. That's also perfectly fine. But ideally, you know, I'll have a commit afterwards. All right, seasonal. So we need to remove all of these. And these are all inside init xmat. Okay, so I think if I just remove that and then remove that, we're kind of going back to how this file used to be. Is there a history feature? If I go, like I wanted to see the previous change. Let me see, font update. That should be the introduction, right? I think it's mostly just adding this one function and executing that function. Yeah, so by removing that, we should be home free. All right, so if I do that, refresh, and I don't get any errors, we should be pretty safe. Now, the one thing I'm not handling well is the current settings and defaults. Although, no, it should actually maintain the existing font settings. So that should be fine. So I think that's all we need, right? We've got the renames of the files. Let me double check what files we're including there. I'm not super happy about including all the fonts. Ideally, the fonts would either be externally hosted or I'd have more time to actually see about licenses and all that stuff. Because I definitely don't have licenses for these. I'm just hoping the fact that I could freely... I didn't like pull them out of anything. I went to font sites and looked for fonts that I could download for free. But they might have... I mean, is this commercial use? Probably not, right? Free access. I mean, some of these are really big, which I don't really like. But it's not really a feature that everybody should be using all the time. I think I'm okay with that. All right, let's do the update. So that's a minor version bump. Yeah, and I definitely want to release version 1.0 this year. But it's going to be mostly symbolic, so I want to be preparing it with a little bit of a celebration or something. I don't know. But I think it's time to get over myself and call this version 1.0. Move custom fonts to setting. From seasonal to setting. 30 files changed, that's all right. And then the other part we need to update, and I think this is already one of these items, isn't it? Updates, no in fact, once into experimental feature. Yeah. So we kind of want to have a little bit of a done list, or I think we can just go here and say, we just archive it. Ah, that feels so... anyway, but that's kind of the point. I wish I had, like, could cross it out and see it. And the other part is, let me just close these. We don't need those. Is the snow cannon effect. So the snow cannon effect is, let's close this. We don't need that. Don't need that for now. Don't need that. Don't need that. The snow cannon is under user effects. Let's see. Oh my god, I have so much. Yeah, that's another thing I need to do is like reconcile the code and kind of, it's kind of ballooned, too many files and all that stuff. I hardly even remember all the stuff that's in here. Puzzle events, there we go. Right? So currently, it's basically substituting snow canning for all these, right? So we want to move this to no longer do that. So confetti and DD dude are gonna be their own effects again. Where before they were overridden by the snow cannon. And then everybody can get back to their normal effects. So if I do this, and now I put a 3 in the corner, we get the snow cannon. But if I open it in an incognito window, and I do the same thing, it should default to confetti. All right. And then, which means it shouldn't change it for somebody who's currently on the snow cannon. And if I do confetti, okay, and if I change that to DT dude, okay, and if I change that to snow cannon, we have the snow cannon. All right, I think that's all we have to do. People will yell at me if it's not the right thing to do. I don't know for sure. I should have tested it. I should have changed it to something else in snow cannon in the settings to see if it keeps that setting. But there's no reason it shouldn't. Because it still treats them as separate settings. They just happen to execute the same effect between them. All right, we'll bump miner again. And then I think I'm not going to stream too much longer because I'm going to have... Tomorrow I have a busy day and I'm going to go to another island for a couple of days. Because we have in-laws visiting. And I have to pack tomorrow and all that. And I need to finish a few things because I won't be able to finish them next week. So I'm not going to stream as long as I usually do. And I managed to start at 5 today, or 10 past. And that's going to be my goal. I kind of want to start at 5, because otherwise it kind of ends up being too late. You know, dinner needs to be had and all that. So let's see. Here we go. And I think I also want to subdivide my streams a bit. I want to have a stream maybe one day a week for... I'd like to do Q&As, things like that, but it's hard to know when people are going to show up. So maybe either I collect the questions asynchronously and then I'll answer them on the stream, or I'll make it like a bug fixing stream, but people can also stop by and report new bugs or issues or ask things. And it'll be a bit of a chill stream, and I'll just like have like a task of a bunch of small things that I'll do during that stream, you know. All right, so that should be a simple task as well. We've just updated the effects here. Moves make snow cannon regular effect setting. All right. So people who like it can keep it. People who don't want it can change it. And I'm going to deploy this to beta. And probably test it with whatever gas is going on right now today. And then maybe tomorrow maybe I'll do the release from beta to production before I go. I'll take my laptop with in case I need to fix something. I would have liked to have done this yesterday and then deployed earlier today, and then tomorrow I would be able to fix things when people report issues. Because my morning is like middle of the night in America, and by the time I'm gone, the Americans will wake up and want to make their videos, and it'll be a bit of a potentially not exactly a disaster, but it could be problematic, right? All right, so this is today's gas. They have the conflict checker off. Let's go to beta. And let's see if we can play this without everything imploding. Let's make this a big-ish, but we'll have the console open, so we'll see if something goes wrong. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Each of the two grids, also the same digit must never appear in the same cell in both grids. Okay. Must never appear in the same cell. Okay, so it's disjoint, but it's not actually a part of the... That's why they have the conflict checker. Yeah, this is something that bugs me a bit because the engine could actually support a proper disjoint set. But the setters probably don't know exactly how to do it, or it's quite difficult to do because the tools don't properly support it. So they actually disable conflict checking. Like if I enable conflict checking, then I probably can't put a 3 here. Yeah, it doesn't do things correctly for some reason. That'll be an interesting test case to see if I can improve that. All right. Each of the grids. Also, the same digit must never appear in the same cell in both grids. So we can't have a 3 here. Must never appear in the same cell in both grids. But could a 3 appear here? Even though it's here. The same cell in both grids. No rules apply in each of the two grids. Also the same cell digit must never appear. So I don't know if that refers to just within the box. So the 3 cannot be anywhere in the upper right corner. Is that even possible? Because eventually it'll have to be in the upper right corner, right? I'm not sure. Never appear in the same cell in both grids. Like, does that just mean no one here, or does it also mean no one here? All right, which one is the corner with the most digits? So upper right corner we have 3. Lower right corner we have 3. Why do I have a feeling it's gonna be 3 for all? Oh, not for the upper left. Bottom middle 2. Bottom left 2. Top middle 2. Ah, okay, so that confirms it that it's not for every box. So this just means no 2 here. And this means no 2 here. All right. This 4 means there's a 4 here, though. And that 5 means there's a 5 here. That 3 means there's... Okay, that's the start. That's the break-in, right? 6, 6. So then we'll get a 6 here. And we can't have a 6 here, so that's our 6. Right? And we'll probably have something similar elsewhere. 4s. Ah, but the 4 can't be here, so the 4's got to be there. Can't be there. And 3s... 6 can't be here, so that's got to be a 3, and that's got to be a 6. All right. And then here we're missing 3 and 4. And here we're missing 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 5. But 5 can't be here, so that's the 5. All right. All right. 4 is in one of these two. 6. 6 goes here. 6 goes here. All right. 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5, 2, 1, 3. No, not 3 actually. 1, 2, 5. Right. So these two are 4 and 6. And these are 1, 2, 5. Like that. But this can't be a 1, so it's a 2. This can't be a 2. This can't be a 5. It's actually like this. Alright. This, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 6. This can't be a 4 and this can't be a 6. So 4, 3, 6. 1, 4. Like that. 1, 2. And 3, 4, 6. Like that. 2, 5 here. This can't be a 4 because of that special rule. This has got to be a 3. These two are 2 and 5. And 1, 2, 5. Like that. Right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then here are 5 and 6. Okay. 6, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4. Okay. And these three are 1, 3, 5. And these two are 1, 2, 6. No 1 here. All right. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 4, 5. A 4 and a 3 here. Okay. So let's see if the lack of conflict checking is actually getting us puzzle. Otherwise, yeah, I imagine so. I thought that wouldn't work, but I was too lazy to think about it too hard. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's nothing obvious here. 3 here. 4 here. One of these is going to be a 1. Ah, wait, that can't be the 1, right? So that's 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1. Okay. And yeah, this can't be the 1, so that's a 5, 2, 1. 5, 4, 1. And now 1 and 4. Don't resolve these yet. That 5 resolves this one, though. 5, 3, 1. And this 1 and 3 don't resolve these two. And this 1 and 4 don't resolve these two. Okay. 2, 4. Oh, wait, that forces this one. Okay. So the conflict checking is kind of messing with me a little bit because I'm so used to using it. 3 and 2. Check. Oh. That's not it. Where did I go wrong? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2. God damn it. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. So this row is wrong. Does that mean we have something wrong on over here as well? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has 2 5s in it. It's missing a 3. So this has 2 3s in it. It's missing a 5. Okay. 5, 6. Maybe I just typoed it. 3, 2, 3. Okay, I just typoed it. I probably pressed as 5 instead of a 6 or something. Okay. All right, so, I mean, this is obviously not a thorough test. This is kind of the minimal test that I didn't completely break everything. Gotta play at least one game. Let's do a couple of New York Times classics as well, just to round out the stream. So I usually start with a hard one, and I try to not make as like try to go as far as I can without making any markings. It's just something I'm trying to do to kind of practice my visual sort of perception a little bit. But obviously with the hard ones, that doesn't get you very far usually. With the medium ones, it gets me a couple of digits in, and then with the easy ones, it should solve the whole puzzle in my experience. So for example, the 5s go here, 5, 5, here, 5. Ah, that's a 5, so that gets us a 5. 6 gets us 6 here. 6 here. 7s. 7s. 8s. You're here. Here. 9s. Okay. So time to do the next level of markings. Ah, no, wait, we got a 1 here. 1 here. 1 here. 2 here. 2 here. Here. All right, 3s. Here. Here. Alright, nothing more than that. 4 can't be here. Don't have a lot of 4s. Alright, 5s. 5s we already got a bunch before. So we got a 5 here, which means that's a 5. Got a 5 here with the 3. And we got 5s anywhere here. Alright, that's not super helpful either. 6s here and here. Anything else with the 6s? Could be here, because this row is interesting, because obviously can't be in box... Nothing can be there in box 7. 7s. You know there's a 7 here, which means there's a 7 here. Right. 8s. 8s. Not super helpful. And the 9s. Ah, that gets us... That 3-5 pair there gets us the 9 here. But 9 here. So that 9 goes with the 7. Pushes the 2 up there. Alright. But, gets us a couple of mild marks here. Nothing crazy. What are these for? There are 2, 6, 7, and 9. 7 and 9 can't be here. So I'm missing something. 2, 6. So 2 and 6 go here. Which means... So these two have to be 7, 9. Right. So then this is the 6 and this is the 2. And then these two are 4 and 8. Alright, and then this one is 4, 6, 8. Alright, and these two are 4, 8 as well. Alright, and then these are 4, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 here, and it resolves that 3, 5. Alright. 3, 4. Don't know. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's a 3, 8 then. And then this would be 4, 6. Alright, so 3, 8. What's an 8 here? And then 6 goes over here. And 4 goes over here and goes here. So that's a 4, 8. Nope. Not a 4, 8 pair. 4 is here. So the 4 goes over here. Ah, but not down here. So that's the 4. We got a 4 here. So that's a 3, 4 pair. And these two are 6 and 8. All right. 6 and 8. And then this one is 7 and 9. And then these three are 1, 7, 9. Right? Yeah. Okay. What's next? I think now we're just gonna kind of speed ball through these. 2s, 3s, 4s. Okay, 5s. Might as well mark them. 6s, 7s. 8s. 8, not here. And not here. Okay, that's an 8, which resolves the 1. Gets us the 1 over here as well. These two are now 7 and 9. Bunch of 7 9s everywhere. These ones are resolved too. So these two cells can be 2 and 6. And then these two are 7 and 9. Right? I think so. Alright. Now these two can't be 2 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Quite a few options. Although some of those are probably not valid. All right, let's go through this again. Maybe a couple more restricted now. Yeah, we've seen those already. Ah, wait, 6s are here, so 6 is gotta be up there. Right? Yeah. 7's gotta be here now. That's nice. All right. And that means that's a 7, which makes that's a 5. Okay, 2, 7, 6, 2, 4, 7, 8 makes this a 6. 8, 4, 8, 4, 3, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 69, 9, 7. Okay, so now I'm just following the markings and filling in the digits accordingly. This is sort of the relaxed part of the game. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, this is the sort of stuff I do for quick testing. Just kind of do a couple of classics, which isn't very thorough testing because obviously it doesn't test anything crazy. But unfortunately, there's so many different puzzles. 7 minutes. Okay, let's do the medium. So now I'm gonna try to mark less. So I'll look at things like this. So the ones restrict the ones here, and that one will see that. So that gets me one here, which immediately makes me look down there. But I'm gonna refrain from marking these just yet. So we know there's a 1 here, there's 1 here, 1 in these two. Okay, so 1s are done. 2s, they go here, here, here. Nothing else. 3s. Ah, that gets me a 3 here. 3s or here, or here. 4s also here. So this is a 3-4 pair, which makes these two a 1-5 pair, which puts a 5 here and a 1 here. Does that reveal more 1 stuff? Yes. There's a 1 here now. 1 here. 1's here. All right. And the 5s? Not really. There's 5 here. All right, 6s. 6. 6. 6. Nothing. All right, 7s. 7s go in here, or in here, or here. Ah, no, wait. 7 go here, so 7 goes here, so that's a 7. Here, here, here. All right, nothing else. 8s go either here, here. All right, 9s. There's a 9 here. So these two 9s seeing all these, and then this 9 sees that one. These two 9s see these 6. What's a 9 here? These two 9s mean there's 9 here, but because of this 9, I can put a 9 here. And we got 9s there. All right, so that's all the digits through it. I'll probably run through them one more time quickly. Let's see where the 1s can go. And then, well, I might as well start marking at this point. So there's a 2 here or here. There's a 2 here, here. I mean, a 3 here. Ah, we know this is a 3, 4, right? 4s. Nothing too restricted. These for the 5s, maybe. 6s. Up there. But nothing too restrictive otherwise. 7th. Ah, that's a 2, 7. That's interesting. So that means this has to be a 6. Right. Let's do 6s again. Ah, now we got a 6 here and here. And this is a 5, 8 pair. Check 6s again. All right. 5s. All right. 7s. I guess we'll mark these. 8s. Ah, that's a 5, 8 here. All right. Well, nothing too crazy about that. Let's do that. Ah, these see this one, so that's an 8. There's 8s here. All right, and finally 9s. Okay, that's a 1 9 here. We had 9s here and here. All right, I think that's the home stretch now. Sometimes these can get a little tricky, but I think this one is not too bad. Usually the medium ones aren't particularly tough. And even the hard ones are rarely very tough, to be fair. But and they don't really use like any advanced techniques or anything. I'm not a very fancy solver, to be brutally honest here. All right, now I'll probably have to do more marking. So for example, in this column, you know, we know this is 5 or 6, which are resolved. Kind of percolate a little bit. Do probably most of the 6s here. And a couple of 9s here, and the 1s here. Yeah, in fact, only one left. That's 2, 4, 7. That's not a 7. It's 2 or 4. That's 2 or 7. That's 2, 4, 7. All right. 2, 3. 4. 5. Ah, here we go. My language. 7. 8. All right. So let's fill in. What did we say? 2, 4, 7 on these. No 4 here. No 7 here. These two are 3 and 4. These are 2, 3, 4. What are these? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not 3 and not 2. And that's not a 2. A 4, 8. Doesn't really help. 3, 4, 7. 3, 4, 7. 2, 4, 2, 7. 2, 3, 7. Okay. 3, 2, 4, 3. 3, 4. 2, 7. 4, 7, 8, 4, 2. All right. 7s don't go down there. 2, 4, 8. 4, 7, 4. 7, 2, 7. 8, 2. All right, that resolves those 5 8s in the central row. 4, 8, 3, 5, and 5, 2. Wow, that took us longer than the hard one, I think. That's strange. It didn't feel harder. All right, easy one now. I'll try to do it without the pencil marking at all. So 1s. 1s, 1s, 1s. All right. Okay, 2s. Not there. 2s, 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 2. Twos. Go here. 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 So that's a 2, right? That's a 2. 2's here. Here. Okay. 3s. There. Not this one. So that's a 3. Here. 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 3's here. 3's here. Yeah. Deadly pattern for now. 4s. Here. Here. And I normally wouldn't mark using the selection tool is almost like pencil marking anyways. I'm just doing it so you guys don't stare at a screen while I'm mentally trying to do it all without writing anything down. If that's a 4 here, that means that's the 4. And then we got a 4 here, 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 here. And I think the rest isn't determined. Okay, so 4, 4, 4, and 4. All right, 5s. This is 8. So the 5 goes here. Oh, nope, the 5 is there. I'm an idiot. All right. Okay, that's a 5, that's a 5, so that's a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9. 4 and 9. 4 and 9, okay. That's a 4, that's a 9, that's a 4. And then these are 6 and 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 6, 7. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8. 5 here, 8 here. All right. 1. I'm just counting what we're missing. 1 and 3. Okay, so that's 3. That's 1. 6 and 9. I think we looked at these already. Okay. And these two are 2 and 8. 2, 8. All right. These two are 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Which makes these two 6 and 9. 9, 6, 9, 2. Okay. These two are 2 and 4. And these two are 6 and 8. I'm just scanning across the rows and the columns and the boxes and stuff. And then I'll check, okay, 6 and 8. This got an 8, so that's got to be the 6. Yada, yada, you know. You know the spiel. 3s go here. 4, 5, 6, 6, and 7. All right. And basically by trying to not pencil mark, because these are very easy, so they're trivially solved with pencil marking. I use it I feel like since I started trying doing it, it helped me skip sort of a step, like that certain first primitive pencil mark. Sometimes I mark a bunch of digits on a harder puzzle, and then it just sort of resolves into givens. So I realized, oh, that was a waste of time pencil marking them. So by scanning through digits quickly to see which ones result in just immediately resolved digits, it's not about saving time, really. It's more like about practicing my brain a little bit. All right, I think I'll call it a day here. I don't know why I'm feeling really tired, even though it's only 7. And normally, in the last couple of weeks, I even often started a stream at 7. But I started at 5, and I don't know. I have a new light setup. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just really tired because of how I slept the last couple of days. But I'm gonna call it here. I think this was a good start. I feel like I've not just put some things on the list. I've actually taken things off the list. In fact, this one we can archive. Right. And I'll have to start figuring out how I want to break these down into small things or bigger things. Maybe turn some of these, move them into macro tasks, and then pull things out. I don't know. Or if I want to keep using Trello. Trello is nice for like visually moving a few small, bigger things around. I think I've used it a little bit too much like a regular to-do list here. And I might, I think it's on a shared board. I might have to run 2 separate boards because there'll be a board where I'll want to put things on that aren't, you know, of public interest or that I don't want to disclose, you know. Anything security related, anything financial related, like, I gotta do my taxes, I gotta do my VAT. A little reminders for myself, so I might have another board with that. I'll actually have to see if there's some sort of view where I can say, okay, some people, like, some things are publicly visible and some things are not. I don't know. We'll see, we'll see. All right. I hope this was a bit of a variety show, a little bit of planning, a little bit of programming, and a little bit of puzzling. Nothing funky and exciting though, no new effects. But that cloud effect, that's the other thing. I don't want to just order it by kind of importance or something, but something like the cloud effect is something I can do on a Sunday stream, just to lighten the mood, you know, just, hey, this looks funky. People might enjoy it. So it'll probably get moved around accordingly. Excuse me. All right. I feel like I've talked today more than I usually do. I don't know why. All right, and I tested out the second camera. I mean, it's obviously not pinned to the keyboard. I wonder if I could set it up with some
kind of tracking, because the keyboard is quite a standout white square on the dark desk. Nice thing is when it's not there. I think it auto adjusts to the brightness of the light, so if I remove the keyboard, the rest doesn't look as dark. But I think it also doesn't block too much of the screen, so I think it's all right. Hey GDC, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I also need to figure out how I'm gonna get these 3,000 public watch hours that YouTube wants from me. It's in a whole year, and I have only like less than 1,300. And my streams should probably add up to more than that, so I think they don't count the streams. I gotta figure that out, and that's probably part of why I want to make videos. Actually, let me check something. If I look at analytics, and I look at watch time hours, channel watch time compared to your typical performance includes public, private, unlisted, and deleted videos. So, for example, it says 353 hours right now for the last 28 days. And I'm imagining that's only counting people who watched the recording of the live stream after I posted it. The funny thing is, in the lists of the live, it doesn't show the watch hours. Let me see. If I click on last week's stream, does it show me watch hours here? Watch time hours. Yeah, like that one is 191 watch hours on its own. And the current one has 16 watch hours. Okay, so, yeah, maybe the last one is a bad comparison because I did that promo run, so probably a lot. Yeah, so usually they're like less than 20 hours. So that one with 190 hours was a huge jump over my usual watch time. Yeah, 14 hours. So my videos actually just don't have that much watch time. That's okay. They're not designed for that. But I'd like to do some videos that are designed to be watched. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Sasha, GDC, John Paul, Flinty. Who else popped by earlier? There was Mark. Alikin was here. Chameleon dropped by. Anders dropped by. Thanks so much, guys. Shelby was here at the start. Yeah, I hope I won't lose too many subs because after the sub drive, a lot of people subbed, but I think 20 already unsubscribed, like right after. So a lot of people are realizing, oh wait, he's not playing puzzles. He's just staring at the camera and writing code or whatever. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for hanging out. I hope I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Ciao, ciao. Welcome. Bye-bye.